All right, welcome back to another video, guys. Today, we're going to be talking about how I personally gained muscle fast as a skinny guy with fast metabolism. So, to give you guys some context first, this was me back in April of 2021, so about 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago at this point. But the picture right here was taken after my hernia surgery. So, I got some hernias removed back then, and as you can see, I went back to being the skinny guy I once was. Because prior to this, I did lift, I did train, because I started my training journey back in 2017. And so I made okay progress. Wasn't anything impressive, to be honest. And I'll show you guys the next slide of how I looked like prior to the surgery, of what I looked like at my best. But as you can see here, I'm an ectomorph. I'm a skinny guy naturally, have those lanky arms. So I went back to being skinny again, pretty much. And this picture, the next one right here, me in the blue shorts, was taken 2 months after this first picture. So this is when I was starting to get back inside of the gym. So as you can see, I started, gaining a little bit of something because of muscle memory. But again, nothing crazy impressive. And this is what I looked like at my best, my physique at my best prior to the surgery. This is what I looked like. It's an okay physique. It wasn't impressive at all, like I mentioned already. And it was really due to the fact because I was not training correctly. I was not eating in the correct manner, so I didn't have my eating dialed in. And I also didn't have my rest and recovery dialed in. And so it wasn't after the fact, after the surgery, and even probably I'd say like a few months into it, where I really wanted to take my training a little bit more seriously and see what I was truly capable of. So after a lot of research, a lot of trial and error process on myself, I finally figured out through that research and through taking the time to actually educate myself more on fitness, on training, more education on nutrition, more education on rest and recovery, on how to really get my physique to that next level that I desired. And so currently, this is what I looked like now. This is what I look like now, given that all those three items are dialed in. So this is what I presently look like. I'm at my heaviest at this point. I'm around the 220 pound mark. But thanks to dialing everything in, this is what I look like. And it's nothing impressive at all whatsoever. It's a decent physique, but I am just proud of the fact that I've gotten to this point, because of taking the time to research, try different things out, see what works best for me. And now I'm here wanting to share these things with you guys, especially if you are someone who is a gym newbie, who's a skinny guy, who's new to the gym, who also has a fast metabolism. So this way you get to avoid the mistakes that I made on my 7-year long journey of working out. Because honestly, these past 3 years of working out after the surgery, right? That's when I started making my most progress inside of the gym. So I want to share those tips, that advice with you guys. Before I kind of get into that point, with you all for today, I do want to say one last thing as far as my progress from before to after goes. Basically, I was starting from scratch after the surgery. Muscle memory did help me out a teeny tiny bit to go from this back to this, right, at my best. But it wasn't anything crazy. Realistically though, I did not achieve much before the surgery, much like what I was explaining to you guys. Beforehand, I did not know what I was doing. My training was off, my nutrition was just the shit, and my rest and recovery was also in the shitter as well. So that's when I decided to take things more seriously, and I want to share those lessons with you guys, so this way you can get all those three things dialed in: your eating, your training, your recovery. So this way you guys can actually see the results you're wanting to see inside of the gym. So let's get right into things for today. First, we're going to cover training. I finally stopped training until mild discomfort. Literally, as soon as I felt that burning sensation inside the exercise that I was doing, I stopped. I rested, and then I went again, and then as soon as I got uncomfortable, I stopped. I started training till failure. So I literally, as soon as the burning sensation came on, in my mind, I was like, I'm not going to drop the weights. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to make sure my form's in check. And I'm going to go until literally I cannot do one full rep anymore, no matter how bad it hurts. And I'm not talking about working out until the point you injure yourself. I'm talking about working out to the point where you literally cannot complete or perform one full rep because your muscle just gives out naturally, not through injuries or anything like that. Thirdly, I dropped my sets from 4 to 2. I increased my rest times from 90 seconds to 3 minutes. I focus on controlling the entire movement all the way through, but I mainly focus on the eccentric part of the movement, so the way down of the movement, the negative part of the movement. I started implementing progressive overload a lot more efficiently than I was before, and most importantly, I stuck to one workout plan for months at a time, because before I would just hop around from workout plan to workout plan, and I wonder why I was not seeing the results I wanted. But of course, it was one third of the equation. Because of me not getting my training dialed in, I was not able to measure my progress in terms of I was getting stronger, was I progressing in all my lifts. The important metrics you need to see inside of your training goes, so this way you can see if you're actually making progress. So that covers the training portion of things. As far as the eating goes, I finally stopped blaming my metabolism for not gaining any weight. As you guys saw in the second slide and the pictures right there, naturally I'm a skinny guy with a fast metabolism, so I was an ectomorph. And I always would use to blame my stature, my fast metabolism, because of not gaining any weight. But I finally stopped blaming my metabolism because I needed to be real with myself. And so that's when I started asking myself the important questions. Was I tracking my weight? Was I tracking my eating? Was I tracking literally everything that I was putting inside of my body? And the answer, bluntly, was no. I was not doing a good job when it comes to that. I did not have my tracking dialed in at all whatsoever, and it was costing me majorly, because training is about 10 to 20% of the equation. Nutrition makes up for the rest of that, so 90 to 80% of it. And yes, rest and recovery is important, but I just want to focus on training and eating here since I'm on these slides right now currently. So I tracked everything meticulously, my eating, my weight, my workouts as well. And I only increased my calories by 3 to 500 until my weight would stall. Then I would increase my calories again by an additional 300 to 500 calories. And I just kept repeating that cycle for the entirety of my bulking phase. I also did not cut out junk food at all whatsoever. Some of you skinny guys think that you need to eat chicken, broccoli, and rice 6 times to 7 times per day to see results inside, your weight gain, your muscle gain journey without gaining so much of the fat. But you want to use junk food in a more strategic way instead, because to put it bluntly with you all, you're going to gain fat nonetheless. If you are in a caloric surplus, you will gain fat regardless, whether it's a little bit or a lot of bit of fat if you are going on a massive dirty bulk per se, where you're eating so many calories that it's just insane, and you gain so much unnecessary fat that you don't need. So I just use junk food in a more strategic way. I used it in a way where if I needed to fill in some calories and I really couldn't, I didn't want to eat chicken thighs or salmon or maybe steak that day, I would just buy whatever food I wanted to buy, like Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, whatever it is, and I would just pick something that was calorically dense to help me reach my caloric goal for the day while maintaining my macro goals as well for the day, and I would just eat that. So I used it in a more strategic way instead of eating it every single day and gaining unnecessary fat that I really don't need to gain. So definitely don't eat junk food 24/7. Do not do a dirty bulk. Just use junk food in a more systemized or more strategic way. And then lastly here, we got rest and recovery. So before, I would stay up past midnight and wake up super early. So I was getting less than 7 hours of sleep per night. That's when I started implementing more sleep inside of my training, inside of my rest and recovery phase of things or side of things. So I started getting 7 hours of sleep per night, a little bit more, maybe 8 to 9 hours, even better. But 7 hours is the minimum that you should all be getting. I took melatonin to help me sleep because sometimes I would just not be able to sleep. I would have a hard time sleeping at night. I also stopped going to the gym 6 times per week. Currently, I go 5 times per week. And those 2 additional rest days that I get, opposed to the 1, has helped me out tremendously, because since I take all my workouts till failure, since I work out with really high intensity, I need those rest days to really well fuel my body for the workouts that are coming up in the week ahead. And then I just started taking my recovery as seriously as I took my training, because you guys got to keep in mind, recovery is where the real muscle growth happens. If you don't allow for your body to have the chance to recover from the literal abuse you're giving it, right? If you're training hard, you're literally, damaging your body a good bit. And so you need that rest and recovery, so this way you can recharge your batteries, you can let your body have a chance to repair and grow itself. So this way, you're fully recovered and you can hit the next workout as hard as you hit yesterday's workout. So definitely take your training, or excuse me, take your recovery as seriously as you take your training. Take everything seriously. Take your eating, take your training, and take your recovery super seriously. Because I guarantee you, if you do and you take it seriously for 4 months consistently, day in and day out, you're going to see far more progress than you've ever had before. If you've been lifting for a while and you're not seeing the progress that you're wanting to see, definitely take all those things, all those 3 areas super seriously, and I promise you, you're going to see a lot more growth, a lot more results than the previous years or the previous months or the previous weeks that you began working out. So that covers it for the 3 main points. I do have a bonus slide for you guys that I want to share, and this is the last thing that I do want to cover for you guys, with you guys, because it is something that I implemented that has helped me out tremendously, and really overcoming those plateaus. Because sometimes we have plateaus where we cannot progress inside the gym, inside of our training for weeks on end, and we're stuck on the same weight. So implementing something called deload weeks is going to be super helpful for you all. And basically what a deload week is what I mentioned a few seconds ago. When you're stuck on the same weight for weeks at a time, you're mentally fatigued, you're physically fatigued, and you just feel a little bit burnt out, so you need a little bit more rest. Maybe you need some time off from the gym. There are different ways to implement or do a deload week or weeks. So you can either cut the reps in half that you're doing already, you can cut the sets in half that you're doing already, or you can just completely take time off from the gym altogether, maybe a week to 2 weeks. So that way, you can give your body enough time to recover, to fully rest, and essentially you're ready to go to hit PRs, to see progress again, and really just hit the ground running once more. Essentially, you're taking 2 steps back through doing this, but you're taking 2 steps back, so this way you can take 4 steps forward inside of the gym, inside of your training, and so that way you can actually start making the progress that you've been wanting to make, but you've hit this brick wall that you can't seem to, get past. And so you want to take this rest and recovery or these deload weeks seriously, so this way you can actually plow through the brick wall and start making progress again inside of the gym. So that's a bonus tip that I think will definitely help you guys out, because I know for myself in the past, whenever I felt mentally or physically fatigued and I felt like my body was like, hey dude, like we need a little bit longer of a rest time, like you need to take some time off of the gym, or whatever it is, I would implement the deload weeks, so this way I would get the rest and recovery that I would need. At least now I do. I know in the past that I wouldn't, and essentially I was trying to hit the brick wall or get past the brick wall with a tiny spoon when I really needed something bigger, something stronger. And that's what the deload week is. That's what I like. That's what I would like for you guys to think of what deload weeks are. So definitely implement them. Personally for me, the way I would implement deload weeks is just by cutting my sets in half and not going till failure on all my lifts. So this way I can actually give my body a chance to just recover itself and feel good. I mean, I know a lot of you guys, and I know for me at least, I go to the gym so this way I can, look good, feel good, that sort of stuff. So if I were to just take a week to 2 weeks off of the gym altogether, I would go insane. And I know most of you guys would too. So if that does resonate with you, definitely consider either cutting your reps in half or just cutting the sets in half and not going till failure, or not, having that same intensity in all your workouts. So this way, you have that appropriate rest that you need, or you get that appropriate rest that you need. But that concludes it for today, guys. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below if this video was helpful for you all, and if there's any questions in regards to what I went over for today. If you are a skinny guy with fast metabolism who is looking for a more personalized approach to gaining weight and gaining muscle because you want to avoid the trial and error process of having to go through figuring this all out on your own, please be sure to click on the link in the description below, so this way you find a good time to speak with me and I can see if I can help you out or not, and overall I'll just point you in the right direction. Until the next video though, guys, take care and have a good one.